has to go all the way to the top. India's aviation watchdog, viewers, managed by the Aviation Ministry, can no longer hide behind technicalities, jargon or selective outrage because as thousands of Indians remain abandoned, a paper trail has emerged that points not just to IndiGo's failure but also to an accomplice. And I'm saying this with full responsibility, viewers. And that accomplice, viewers, ostensibly is the DGCA, the very regulator, the very watchdog meant to protect you. It turns out that a parliamentary committee had warned in August that the system was cracking, that it was falling apart, that fleet expansion far outstripping pilot growth, fatigue risks were spiraling. Even the ATC manpower was stretched to the limit, and the DGCA itself operating at nearly 50% vacancy, even though, viewers, the DGCA allows IndiGo and others to sign on more flights to cater to, as you know, viewers, high season tourist traffic. The panel warned of a catastrophic failure, not my words, the panel's own words, and I'm talking about a parliamentary panel. But the DGCA, controlled by the Civil Aviation Ministry, did squat, did nothing, viewers, absolutely nothing. Nothing. Here is a snapshot, viewers. I have that particular report in my hands. I always come with the hard facts. I always come, viewers, with documents. Viewers, these are the facts that the DGCA cannot bury anymore. There was a parliamentary panel's warning in August 2025, and it said that fleet growth exceeds pilot growth. The panel warned that rapid aircraft induction without matching crew strength was unsafe. It's all written here. Fatigue, a major safety hazard, alerted DGCA that pilot and ATC fatigue could trigger serious incidents. Did the DGCA, viewers, look at the biggest airline and ask it whether it was actually taking on board the pilots' inadequate numbers that were required to submit under the FTDL requirements, viewers? No. It just sent notices. Just basically, viewers, to do the bare necessities so that no one could turn around and say, oh, you messed up. You see, bureaucrats are experts, viewers, at covering their tracks. The DGCA, this panel report, viewers, that I have right here, said that it was severely understaffed, nearly 50% vacancy in safety oversight posts, flagged as a structural risk. FRMS needed urgently, called for a national fatigue risk management system across airlines and ATCs. The risk of catastrophic failure. Panel warned the system was nearing a dangerous tipping point. It's all there, viewers, and I'm not saying it. It's the parliamentary panel report on civil aviation, which is saying all these facts, and they put it out in August. And what do we have, viewers? 4 months later, 3 months later, a catastrophic meltdown. Not just this, but the Pilots Guild has revealed that DGCA granted IndiGo special relaxations, exemptions beyond even the diluted FDTL Phase 2 norms. These relaxations were without scientific justification or ICAO compliance. Pilots also alleged that there was no fatigue audit. Who's saying all of this? It's the pilots. So on the one side, it's the parliamentary panel. And the other side, it's the pilots. Extra relaxations beyond FTTL Phase 2. DGCA gave IndiGo additional exemptions despite Phase 2 already having transitional leniencies. Deviations from ICAO fatigue norm waivers allowed duty and rest patterns outside ICAO recommended fatigue protection limits. Phase 2 preconditions not enforced. DGCA did not verify IndiGo's fatigue reporting systems, roster modeling, tools or staffing buffers before rollout. No independent fatigue data oversight. DGCA failed to act on repeated pilot fatigue reports or enforce corrections under Rule 140A. Uneven regulatory playing field. IndiGo received bespoke dispensations, breaking uniformity under CAR norms and fueling industry resentment. I mean, look at this, viewers. IndiGo was getting a free run. That's the bottom line. A free run without hardly any oversight. The minister, of course, viewers, has not turned the gaze inwards. In Parliament today, he laid the blame squarely and perhaps even selectively at the airline's door. I'm not saying for a moment, viewers, so don't get me wrong, that IndiGo should not be punished. It should be punished. In fact, it should be grounded for a week. Even though, viewers, that would bring the aviation sector to a complete grinding stop. But yes, it should be, viewers. Make them feel the loss. Its CEOs should be asked to go. There are problems. But viewers, that can only happen, viewers, if tomorrow the minister also recognizes that it takes two to clap. At this moment, viewers, the minister is very happy at deflecting the blame. He says the IndiGo crisis happened due to problems in its crew rostering and internal planning system. We're not taking the situation lightly. We are conducting an investigation and we will take every strict action, not only for them, but for all airlines. We will take very strict action so that we set an example in the industry. Viewers, that was Ram Mohan Naidu, Civil Aviation Minister, telling Parliament, guess what happens? At 6 p.m. today, the deadline for the CEO of IndiGo to respond to the show cause notice issued to them expires. And exactly at 6:01, he sends in his response to say, actually, I can't tell you where things went wrong. I need 15 more days. And viewers, it's so brazen. It's so brazen. I want 15 more days. He knows, viewers. What can the Civil Aviation Minister do? What can the government do? They can't ground him. It's too big to fail. While there's no doubt that the airline is to blame, and it put profits above passenger safety ostensibly, could it have escaped without a long rope from the DGCA, viewers? Today we have pilots coming in and turning whistleblowers. Listen to this account, it will chill you.
When this November implementation happened because of the Honorable High Court, they started taking flight cancellation on purpose. What IndiGo used this FDTL was for their benefit. First, they cancelled all type of contracts, norms, PLs availability, and everything went off. Although having special clearance from DGCA, which no other airline had, they started with, again, like I told you, they started taking cancellations to make data and make it arm twist the regulator to get rid of the FDTL. The accountable and responsible people who have brought this chaos, made so many passengers suffered, made the frontline warriors, pilots, cabin crew, ground staff suffer, even beaten up, they should be brought to justice. And not just penalty to the airline, personal penalties should be imposed on these individuals. They must be brought to justice.
Viewers, deliberately created. There are questions and they are looming large. Why did DGCA give IndiGo extra FDTL relaxations beyond phase 2? Where is the safety data? Why did DGCA deviate from ICAO fatigue norms without any risk assessment? Why was the August warning on DGCA's 50% staffing shortfall ignored? Why were repeated pilot fatigue reports not acted upon under Rule 14A? Why did IndiGo get dispensation not offered to other airlines? Is this regulatory bias? Is it true And I'm not saying anything more, viewers. Is it true that those investigating IndiGo are also linked to the airline, that there is a conflict of interest? Viewers, these are fundamental questions tonight, and I'm not going to not ask them, viewers. These questions have to be asked of the aviation watchdog. Why hasn't the aviation watchdog's boss been sacked? These individuals have risked your lives, viewers. They've created absolute chaos in your lives. And guess what? And let me tell you, your jaws are going to drop, viewers. While you were struggling to get a flight, viewers, over these last 96 hours, two individuals, owners of a bar, and let's put out those visuals, owners of the bar in Goa, the Birch Bar, viewers, these two individuals got a flight, apparently an IndiGo flight. And they have gone to Phuket, if you please. They were wanted. You people can't get a flight. I can't get a flight. I am paying through my nose. You are paying through your nose. You are being grounded. But these two gents, viewers, Gaurav Luthra and Saurav Luthra, owner of Birch by Romeo Lane, are sitting in Phuket. This, viewers, is what it looks like today. Airline regulator off the hook. Airline off the hook. People who kill through negligence off the hook. The system is leaky, viewers. It's very, very leaky. Questions need to be asked. You can't shun blame anymore, my dear friends. Law and order is a state subject. Goa is run by the BJP. Two individuals who are wanted by the police for 29 deaths in their club. There is enough evidence to suggest, viewers, that these people are culpable because they did not even have the basic permissions. They were running an illegal joint. So they have blood on their hands. But they scoot, viewers. The Malias got away. The Nirav Modis got away. The Sandesaras got away. Now two, viewers, entrepreneurs who sent 29 to their deaths have flown away. Viewers, it's as simple as that. Off they go. And guess what, viewers? A lookout circular is issued after they go. That's the game. Let's open this up first. I'll come back to this story, viewers. There's a lot to talk about on this story, on these two individuals who have slipped out. I'll come back to that, but I want to focus on the story that has hit you all. It's touched your lives deeply. Jitendra Bhargav, former executive director of Air India, is here with us. Mr. Bhargava, what is going on here? This is a circus. The DGCA thinks that it can point 5 fingers at the airline, hang the airline, and it can sit pretty. Are we to believe, Mr. Bhargava, that the DGCA did not know, was cuckolded by this airline? That we are run by a bunch of tyros who have no clue?
Yeah, Rahul, just give me a couple of minutes and I'll put it across. It's all known, it's in public domain that IndiGo bungled big way. They did not plan for the additional pilots required with the introduction of new FDTL. With the crisis looming large, passengers being impacted, affected, chaotic scenes at the airport, DGCA had to do something. You made a reference to the relaxation given to DGCA. There were two options before DGCA. Allow the chaotic situation to persist at the airport. Second, find a solution to it. So what they did was opted for the second option, gave them relaxation till 10th of February on certain parameters of phase 2 of FDTL norms. Why did they do it? Now let me explain to you. Had they not done it and the flight cancellation, 6, 7, 800 flights would have been cancelled by IndiGo, there would have been mayhem of another kind. Fares would have touched astronomical.
Mr. Bhargava, Hang on.
No, hold it,
Just 1 minute. If the watchdog is going to get arm twisted because it creates the problem, then it's not doing us a favor. It's not solving the issue.
This is what I said. Allow me
it is giving a long rope.
There's a larger picture.
No, Mr. Look. Stop showing me these larger pictures. Mr. Bhargava, why did we get to this point? How is it that one particular airline...
Sir? IndiGo people who mangled it.
Oh, so what is the DGCA doing? The DGCA is told in August, sir, I have these reports. Please, let's stop this. Please, sir. I know that all of you are a part of an aviation industry, but let's rise above this for our...
How have you brought about stability in the aviation sector?
No, one second. Mr. Bhargava, this is stability. It's on a daily basis that people are harassed by these airlines, given crap treatment on these airlines. You barely can sit in a seat without your knees being grazed off. What are you talking about, sir? Have you seen the service? Have you seen the service? No, I'm telling you, how did we get to this point? No, Mr. Bhargava, I'm sorry.
DGCA knowingly gave the relaxation.
Sir, was DGCA not alerted, sir? Let me just, 1 second, sir. Mr. Bhargava, let me read out this. I'm not making this up. This is the Parliamentary Panel of Parliament.
I'm aware of it.
So if you're aware of it, sir, how is it today that you're giving the DGCA this long leash?
Rahul, let's divide the whole issue into two parts. One was the first part of the chaotic situation being created at the airport due bungling by IndiGo management, not having adequate pilot. Having stated this, how are you to resolve the issue at the airports? If the relaxation was not given, we would have continued with the chaotic situation for another week, 10, 15, 20 days. What they have done is to have given limited relaxation in the FDTL norms so that by 10th February 1, the peak season gets over. There'll be no pressure on the flights. Okay. There will be no kind of high fares being there in the market. So, and in the meantime, IndiGo has been made very clear.
I am shocked tonight, viewers. I am shocked tonight. I am shocked tonight. I'm shocked. I'll tell you why, viewers. We've gone back to a situation by giving these exemptions that was deemed undesirable. Because of what? Pilot fatigue. So we've gone back to... So 1 second, Mr. Bhargava, let me finish now. I never interrupted you. We've gone back to a situation that the DGCA itself said, that the courts itself said was untenable because there's going to be a disaster. People will be fatigued. So viewers, they got 2 years. IndiGo got 2 years to recruit, viewers, 120 pilots. That's all they needed to do. 120 odd pilots, viewers. Every other airline has been able to do it, but not IndiGo, if you please, because it knows, viewers, it controls 60% of the skies. No one can touch it. And who created this behemoth, this monster?
IndiGo.
IndiGo. Why, viewers? If you don't have any competition, you're going to get bigger and gigantic. Today, that same aviation minister is saying what we were saying on Friday, which is that we will kill the duopolies, we will bring in more people, we want more people. What was he doing all this time, viewers?
Rahul, on another day, let's have a debate.
No, sir.
The government cannot do anything to create new airlines.
So, viewers, Mr. Bhargava is applying the cutoff date. Okay, Mr. Bhargava, look, sir, we can shout at each other and it's not going to help the cause, right? So, Mr. Bhargava is very conveniently starting from a point where the crisis happens and it manifests itself. What led up to the crisis, no one is looking at, viewers. Because in this country, we are short term. Let me tell you, a lookout notice is sent after people flee. This is our country, viewers. And what can the government do? I mean, the government has been told by the Parliament panel in August 2025. It says the fleet growth is exceeding pilot growth. Wake up. What does it do, viewers? It slumbers. It doesn't ask the questions. Dr. Ranganathan, am I wrong? Am I a moron reading all these Parliament reports? And are they lying? What is the incentive?
Good evening, Rahul. No, you're not wrong. And good evening to my fellow panelists, all of whom are experts. So I speak here purely as a layman. If I were to sum up the entire issue in one sentence, it would be right now that those who are firefighting are the ones who lit the fire. Now, let us say I grudgingly accept I mean, my logic says no, but let us say, because my starting principle is that Mr. Bhargava means well for the industry, for the country. Let us say I accept his solution that there was no other option and the DGCA chose option number 2. Let us say I accept it. In conjunction with that, I will now, this is where the transparency and the honesty of Mr. Bhargava, who I do not doubt, will come to the fore. Would he also say that in conjunction with that resolution, 3 people should resign immediately? The CEO of IndiGo, the DGCA chief, and the Civil Aviation Minister, just 3 of them should resign immediately. Would you say that, sir?
Absolutely. Hold people accountable for it. Yes.
Okay. Right. Then I accept yours as a solution, even though it's not my solution, but at least it is clear that you mean well. So that's first things first. Now let us come to what has led to this. There is absolutely no way in hell, Rahul, and I speak as a layman, that IndiGo can be let off with this. This is a catastrophe that is unprecedented in the field of aviation. 100 flights, 1,000 flights have been cancelled in Western Europe, and CEOs of airlines have been made to resign. Transport secretaries have been made to resign in UK for something 1/10 of what has happened out here. And it's not just what has happened to whom it has happened. You had a 10,000 crore loss making enterprise, Air India, complying with the rules that were 2 years old. You had a 2,500 crore loss making airline, Akasa Air, complying with the rules. You had a 80,000 crore revenue, 8,500 crore profit making airlines, IndiGo, refusing to comply with the rules. Some say it is 65, some say it is 120 pilots. Now, out of 80,000 crore revenue, only 5,000 crore is gone in making pilots the salaries for IndiGo. Do you think it could not afford 65 more salaries? This is a completely deliberate effort to arm twist. But here I also must come in here. This is not a monopoly, as Rahul Gandhi wrongly says. This is also not a duopoly. And the government must not get in here. Let us not force the government to actually make more and more behemoths. We know what happened when Air India was made. 30 years later, government had to buy it, had to sell it off at a loss of 70,000 crores. The point I'm trying to make is that do not disturb the market if the market is going well. But you have to regulate it. If the regulator is not doing its job, yes, sack the DGCA chief. But who does the regulator fall under? It is a Civil Aviation Ministry. So I do accept grudgingly the solution. There was no other option for Mr. Bhargava,
Dr. Ranganathan,
but 3 people need to resign.
You see, the problem is that, again, we're tackling the wrong end of the problem.
I know.
The solution is a fait accompli. You couldn't do very much.
I know.
After you've been arm twisted and your arm is out of its socket, what else can you do except for sticking it back?
Yeah.
That's exactly what's happened.
Yes,
Isn't it, Mr. Rao? That's exactly what's happened. And guess what, viewers? We have a press release from the DGCA. And it says, received IndiGo's response to show cause notice issued in connection with the recent large-scale operational disruptions and flight cancellations across the airline's network. IndiGo submitted replies signed by both Chief Executive Officer and Chief Operating Officer on 8th December 2025 at 18:01 hours. IndiGo's response, apology and regret. IndiGo is profusely apologetic, deeply regrets the inconvenience and hardship caused to customers. They attribute the disruption to compounding effect of multiple factors, which operated in an unfortunate and unforeseeable influence. Request for time. IndiGo states it's realistically not possible to pinpoint the exact cause, as this time, due to the complexity and vast scale of operations, they note that the DGCA's manual allows a 15-day response time for SCNs, suggesting more time is needed to conduct a comprehensive root cause analysis. The complete RCA will be shared once finished. RCA means root cause analysis, viewers. And viewers, preliminary contributing factors. Listen to this. Minor technical glitches. Minor. Schedule changes linked to the start of the winter season. Adverse weather conditions.
Painful, Rahul. Please don't read it. It's painful.
Increased congestion in the aviation system.
Right.
Implementation and operation under the updated crew rostering rules. This is a contempt, viewers.
Yeah, this is contempt.
This is arrogance.
Of the passengers.
Absolutely.
It's arrogance. And you know what, viewers? Even till now, the minister or the DGCA haven't asked this airline to make this person come out publicly and say, step down, Mr. Elbers, right now. Mr. Rao, what am I to make of this? What is going on here?
Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to my fellow panelists. I hope when I speak, Mr. Bhargava will not intervene. Mr. Bhargava has spoken like a true management person. We have thrown the baby along with the bathwater. You forget, and I mince no words, DGCA is a rogue organization. And you are dealing with white-collared criminals. They couldn't care a damn for your life. They are only interested in filling their coffers. And it goes from the bottom to the top, and I take full responsibility for my statement. You are talking of the parliamentary report. When Air India started its Australia operations, we conducted a fatigue report. And the fatigue report clearly said that if you operated those flights in the manner that they were operated, the accident rate was 25 times, Rahul, not 25%, 25 times. And we operated at least 8,000 flights to Australia. CASA, the aviation authority, was sleeping on it. DGCA was sleeping on it. We wrote letters. Like I said, I filed cases against the DGCA. I was terminated for writing a letter to the DGCA that there are violations in Air India. I was terminated because I told Star Alliance Air India is not fit to become a member because we have flight safety issues. And can you believe it? Nobody paid a heed to it. The DGC officers, and I can name those officers, Mr. Lalit Gupta, Mr. Manish Kumar. Mr. Manish Kumar is still present in the DGCA. Rahul, there was an Air India pilot who went on deputation to Air India and sought salary from both the companies for 4 crores. And DGCA refused to take action against him, and Air India has not taken action against him. If these are the kind of people who are going to be in the DGCA, what are you going to expect?
Well,
like I said, these are nothing but white-collar criminals.
I'll bring in Mr. Rawat, ex-DGCA director. And I want, first of all, of course, viewers, some things were said about a particular individual, Mr. Manish. I don't know. I don't know him at all. We have to disassociate ourselves. These are statements that have been made. You might, but the channel can't, of course, underwrite any of this. So the gentleman should be here to defend himself, and that's the least one can expect. So, Mr. Rao, let's not name people because they're not here to defend their name, and it would be an unsubstantiated allegation against them. But, Mr. Rawat, on the larger principle about DGCA's culpability, the ministry's culpability, how can we today give them a clean sheet?
No, before giving answer to your this thing, I will just tell Mr. Rao that you have returned to CASA, you have returned to DGCA, and both were sleeping. CASA was also sleeping and the DGCA was also sleeping. This cannot happen. It means there was no substance in your complaint at that point of time. Okay. Now your question is that what is happening today. Now we will come to that fact today. Today the question is that.
Respond,
1 second. I'll bring you in. Let him finish. Yeah.
Today we are looking at a situation where the flights were cancelled because of and the plea was given that there is a FDTL requirement which has been imposed, which requires the more number of the pilots, and that's why we are cancelling the flight. This was given 1 year back. They were given this requirement. This is going to be implemented by
2 years.
2 years. Now, what airlines has done in 2 years to come to the standards and make the operation continuous without any disruption. Nothing was done. Now the question is, DGCA also knows that what is the capability of the airline. They should have also taken care of that. Okay, this is our deadline. Now November or whatever the deadline is there.
There were 3. Each one of them were passed over.
For each one of them, they have to take the before 1 month or 2 months prior to that deadline. They should. They were supposed to take the stock of the situation, how IndiGo or every airline is improving their requirement for the pilots, because the pilot cannot be created overnight.
True.
It has to be given the training, and then you have to come up with the exact number. So on none of the occasion, nothing was, no review was taken, and when the situation has come, suddenly the disruption has taken place. Now, their DGCA calls IndiGo to then they take their reviews, whatever the reviews they were. They have given some reviews, but what the next day, the DG issues a letter to the airlines, to the pilot association to cooperate with us. Now, what is the situation? Whether the pilots have gone on the strike or the IndiGo pilots have refused to fly their aircraft? No, nothing was there. So, it is that you are having the pain in the leg and then you are looking at the treatment to the hand. Your hand should be plastered. Now, you have to strike at the right place. What was the requirement? That pilot shortage was known to everyone. IndiGo was knowing themselves, they were having the shortage of pilot. Now, so what was the situation, what was the requirement? That you have to curtail the schedule. The schedule was not curtailed, but even the...
But who signs off on the schedule?
This is
Isn't
approved.
it the
This is approved by the DGCA. That's what I'm telling you. This was the course of the action at the time that they should have curtailed the schedule.
So why didn't they?
That answer.
You see, viewers, why didn't they is the question. Is it that the DGCA is born lazy? Is it deficit? No, viewers, there must be something more to this. And this is beginning to smell like something a lot more. Yeah, two people have raised their hands. Yeah, so I'm asking you, is it possible, sir, that there is something more to this?
Let me complete my this thing. What I was telling you, that DGCA has not given the DGCA has not acted the way it has been acted. First, I have mentioned that they have not taken the review of the situation.
It's apparent to everybody.
And the second was that.
So I'm asking you, therefore the DGCA step down. Should this gentleman on your screen step down? No, come on. I mean, if you fail so many thousands and lakhs of people because you close your eyes.
As an expert, I can give you the.
Isn't that the logical? Okay, so let me ask: who takes responsibility in the DGCA, sir, for this mess up? I'm asking you. What is the logical question? If the Indian team constantly loses, who's going to take responsibility? The captain, right? So why are you so scared of saying it,
No,
sir?
I'm not scared of saying it.
Stand with the people of this country, not with your fraternity.
I'm not talking about
so that's what I'm saying. Stand with the people of your country. Have the conviction to say the man should step down. The DGCA should go. And if someone is not asking him to go, then they are themselves complicit, viewers, in the state of affairs. Doctor, yeah, you wanted to make a point. I'll come to you, Mr. Rao.
With due respect
डर के क्या बोल रहे हैं, sir? The truth needs to be spoken loudly. Yes, doctor.
No, with due respect to Mr. Rawat, who's an expert on these matters, but I'd just like to say this. Normally, an IAS officer, an IPS officer, a judge suddenly finds his or her vocal cords the moment he becomes X or moment he retires. But here, I have to say this, Mr. Rawat still hasn't found his vocal cords, even though he is ex-DGCA. He should just say it point blank. 3 people should have resigned already, a week ago. The CEO of IndiGo, the Civil Aviation Minister, and the DGCA Chief. Mr. Rawat, please say it. Stand with the people of India. We are the one who actually paid your salary, sir.
Now, I'm sitting on this channel. Now, the channel panelists have already 2-3 persons have spoken about this.
Look, there's no point going round the Mulberry Bush. The point is, viewers, that there has been a systemic collapse. Yes, you can single out IndiGo, perhaps the worst. But viewers, that doesn't give the benefit of doubt to the minister. Remember, under this minister, we've even had a crash. And under this DGCA, we've had a crash. And neither does it give the DGCA, viewers, a reprieve. They need to go. And I just hope that the government is hearing and taking note. If you don't affix accountability, this will continue. Extensions will be constantly sought. And you can't do anything because it's 60% of the market. So every time you will say, I have to put a Band-Aid. And that Band-Aid, one day, viewers, will burst open and there will be, God forbid, a catastrophe. And then what will happen, viewers? Then what will happen? By then it will be too late.
One comment on DGCA. You see, for 20 years now, IS officers have been appointed as the Director General of Civil Aviation. They take a certain time in learning the job, and then they are posted to another ministry. And this has been a recommendation of a parliamentary committee that you must have a professional to head the civil DGCA, like the FAA
So
in
then,
America.
sir,
There is no
then even the
independence
government
because the
is
IAS
culpable.
bureaucrat
Then
works
even the
under
government,
direct
if it's
command
constantly
of the Minister
repeating,
for Civil Aviation and the
agreed.
Minister.
If it's
So you're
constantly
really not getting proper results.
Agreed. If it's going to constantly make the same mistake, then even the government is culpable here.
Absolutely. They have not
You can't keep.
implemented this.
So I'm now glad, Mr. Bhargava, that you have accepted the proposition that I began with, that the DGCA needs to go. Until there is no accountability at the DGCA level, this will happen in another form, in another time, in another time-space continuum, viewers. This will continue. Chalta hai, you see.
That is why on Dr. Ranganathan's straight question, I said yes.
Good. I'm glad. And I'm glad, sir. Stand with the people of this country. They need people like you to speak up for them. Viewers, I need to move on because there's been a big debate. And remember, I'll come back to that story about those two individuals who own that nightclub in Goa and have fled. We're going to come back to that because that's a bizarre story and it requires commentary. Viewers, let me focus on the other big story coming from Parliament today. In no other country in the world would a hymn elevated to the status of a national song be considered unacceptable to the sections of its own population. Only in India have crucial stanzas of Vande Mataram been quietly removed so they don't offend certain groups. Now let's rewind. Bankim Chandra Chatterjee writes Vande Mataram in 1882. The song becomes the heartbeat of the freedom struggle. British authorities ban it. People are arrested for singing it. Yet Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Christians, everyone sings it with pride. It is the soundtrack of India's awakening. So when suddenly a section of Muslims begins objecting to the song, it is both unexpected and deeply unfortunate. In 1908, Sayyid Ali Imam, then president of the All India Muslim League, dismisses Vande Mataram as a sectarian Hindu cry. The objections center on some stanzas that personify the motherland as a goddess, which certain Muslim groups say conflicts with their ideological positions. Fair enough. Concerns can be aired in a democracy. But what followed changed history, the course of it. By 1937, under pressure from Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the Muslim League demands that these stanzas be dropped. And shockingly, the Congress accepts this demand. Jawaharlal Nehru agrees to limit the singing of Vande Mataram to just 2 stanzas. And even this concession does nothing. In 1938, Jinnah writes publicly urging Muslims to reject Vande Mataram in any form because it, quote, salutes Mother India depicted as a goddess, unquote. Viewers, the facts, of course, are before you and I have read them out painstakingly. I've given you the timeline, the chronology, right up till 1937 and right up till after independence, viewers. In 1938 and after independence, viewers, when this particular song, this national song, this ode to our motherland was censored. These facts were also recalled by Prime Minister Modi in Parliament during the 150th anniversary debate today. Facts not widely known, facts that show how political appeasement distorted a national symbol. Listen in to the Prime Minister.
20 अक्टूबर को नेहरू जी ने नेताजी सुभाष बाबू को चिट्ठी लिखी। उस चिट्ठी में जिन्ना की भावना से नेहरू जी अपनी सहमति जताते हुए कि वंदे मातरम की, ये जो उन्होंने सुभाष बाबू को लिखा है, नेहरू जी कहते हैं मैंने वंदे मातरम गीत का बैकग्राउंड पढ़ा है। नेहरू जी फिर लिखते हैं मुझे लगता है कि ये जो बैकग्राउंड है इससे मुस्लिम भड़केंगे कि 26 अक्टूबर से कांग्रेस कार्य समिति की एक बैठक कोलकाता में होगी जिसमें वंदे मातरम के उपयोग की समीक्षा की जाएगी। बंकिम बाबू का बंगाल, बंकिम बाबू का कोलकाता, और उसको चुना गया और वहां पर समीक्षा करना तय किया।
Viewers, the Congress was quick to hit back through Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. Ms. Vadra in Parliament said the government wanted debate on Vande Mataram because the Bengal polls are coming soon. The government wants us to keep delving in the past because it does not want to look at the present and future and confront its own mistakes. Viewers, but here's the real question. Will knowing these facts restore the honor of India's national song? The answer is a big fat no, because the national song cannot be half sung. Yet political sensitivities and old fault lines have made it almost impossible to do so without inviting controversy or worse. This is fundamentally undemocratic. Let those who do not wish to sing the full version refrain, but let others who exalt Bharat Mata be free to sing every sacred verse. It's time to restore Vande Mataram in full. It's time to let India sing again. This prompts us to ask some basic questions. Let's open this up, viewers, without delay to some of our guests tonight. And I want to go straight across to Hindol Sen Gupta, Mr. Sen Gupta, and also the BJP, and Dr. of course Ranganathan is here with us, and the Manojit Mondol, who's a professor and is also an authority on this subject. So we have an informed panel here. Mr. Sen Gupta, I have to ask you this. Why is it that this particular song, this hymn to Mother India, was sung by everybody, Muslims included, in its inception? And why did things turn sour after that?
The entire idea of Vande Mataram comes not only from the fact that it is today our national song, but also from the fact that people actually gave their life singing that song, going to fight a foreigner enemy and stepping up into the gallows to be hung singing that song. Vande Mataram is almost a nationalist mantra. If there could be something that can be called the mantra of India, which applies to everyone, which everyone can be part of, if we truly believe that this country has a great civilizational legacy, a spiritual civilizational legacy, then that mantra is Vande Mataram. That politics was later played on it, that it is not sung in its entirety even today, remains an insult to our entire civilization. Now, someone may say, oh, why are we looking back at the past? Well, as Vivekananda said, you can only understand what your future will be if you understand what your past has been. So therefore, unless we make these correctives, unless we change these things, our future will remain in this manner. And therefore, the time has come to embrace this song, the national mantra, so to speak, in its entirety for everyone, and really allow the resounding power of this mantra to resonate across our land.
Okay, so Mr. Manojit Mondol, let me ask you, Professor, are those that oppose Vande Mataram guilty of perpetuating a politics that was rooted in the idea of separatism as enunciated by Mr. Jinha? Are we actually today perpetuating the Muslim League separatist politics?
So I think there is a larger background to it. In fact, I had participated in another debate with you, and when this particular song was sung for the first time, precisely on 26 December 1896, that was the 12th Congress of session of Indian National Congress was being held in Calcutta. This song was made, this poem was made into a song by none other than Rabindranath Tagore with the help of his family members, including his niece Sarala Devi, whose name is not really always taken. She was part of that band which was singing this song at that point of time. And ever since it became, I think, the war cry for all the radical extremists of India and the revolutionaries, we call them. They are our revolutionaries. And my friend Mr. Sen Gupta rightly pointed out that people were smiling, chanting Vande Mataram and going to the gallows. The problem cropped up, I think, in 1937. In fact, even I mentioned that that particular session was chaired by a Muslim leader, Mr. Ahmedullah Sahani. He was the president of Indian National Congress in 1896. And subsequently also there were Congress presidents who were Muslim, and yet they were allowed to sing this song. 1937 there was a committee, all of you perhaps know, which comprised Tagore, Subhash Chandra Bose, Jawaharlal Nehru, Maulana Azad and Acharya Deva. this 5 members committee, I think, adopted this version of the same. To be quite fair, I'm just narrating the facts of history. And in fact, this particular committee, which also included Tagore, mind you, they all said that these 4th and 5th stanzas should not be adopted. Now, why they said this? Why why we had to, follow that? That I can really answer. There were, I think, 5 wise men of India, including Subhash Chandra, Tagore, Nehru, Maulana Azad, and Acharya Deva. They decided not to go ahead with the 4th and 5th stanza. Nonetheless, they adopted that the song must be adopted as Indian national song. And in 1950, that was made into law. I'm just stating the fact. Now, if the present government, they want to say that, okay, we want to bring back the 4th and 5th stanza once again, let them come with a law. We're stopping them. But to make it a political
are you suggesting,
issue, to make it a poll issue, I think there is a problem.
Okay, so let me ask Dr. Ranganathan this question. Here, the assumption that we are sensing from what Professor is telling us is that you cannot link the decision to Jinnah's veto or to the veto put forth by the Muslim community, because this was sung in Congress sessions under Muslim presidents also, notably also Maulana Azad Sahab. So this linkage is a mischievous one aimed at galvanizing the Hindu vote in Bengal. That's what fundamentally we are getting. Where do you come in on this? Is there a linkage or not?
Rahul, good evening to my fellow panelists, all of whom are absolutely wonderful friends and experts as well. But of course, there is a linkage. And it's not just that Jinnah in the Lucknow session of Muslim League, just a couple of weeks before the October decision that was made by the CWC, that he objected to it. The objection was raised by Muslim League and the president back in 1905, 1906. So the Muslim League had always objected to the 2 paragraphs that symbolize Mother India as Durga, Goddess Lakshmi, and Goddess Saraswati, as billions do. Now, yes, the objection was there. Jinnah stated it again in Lucknow, and 2 weeks later, those 2 paragraphs were removed. Now, it is calamitous and diabolical that not only were those 2 paragraphs removed, that we were given to sing a truncated version of the greatest song ever penned in the world, where every word is like a firefly that settles on a paper. There are 2 things. The time for pointing out the catastrophic mistakes of the Congress was 15th May 2014 or before that. The time to correct those mistakes was 16th May 2014. It's been 11 years since. And I know Tuhin, my dear friend, will rationalize it. Time लगता है, ये लगता है. हमें बता दो कितना time लगता है. Point ही करते रहोगे mistakes, या उनको correct भी करने की हिम्मत है कि नहीं है. Now I want to come to the real substantive point, because I've given a lot of ammo to Tuhin to get back at me. But be that as it may, he's a dear friend. I want to tell you an instance where I hope I can convince all 4 of you that this has got nothing to do with the Hindu-Muslim issue at all. And I'll explain to you why. It has been my singular honor and privilege to have met and befriended General Atta Hasnan. I met him in Mao and I asked him. He was from Garhwal Regiment. His father founded the Garhwal Regiment, General Mehdi Hassan. He had a choice. His brothers went to Pakistan. He opted to be in India. These 2 gentlemen, I asked him point blank, what do you chant when you jump out of the trenches and charge at the enemy? Most of them Muslims. You know what he said? Badri Vishal ki jai. Rajputana rifles, Muslims there, my heroes, our heroes. What do they chant? Bajrang Bali ki jai. So I want to ask all those people who oppose Vande Mataram and inclusion of those 2 paragraphs. Do they also oppose Indian Muslim military heroes chanting Badri Vishal ki jai and fighting for our motherland? Do they oppose them chanting Bajrang Bali ki jai? If they do, then yes, they have a same stand of opposing inclusion of Ma Durga and Ma Saraswati. But if they say it's all right for Atta Hasnan to chant Badri Vishal ki jai when he dies for his motherland, how on earth can you then object to Ma Durga and Ma Saraswati being symbolism of Mother India?
Well, viewers, that's fundamentally one way of looking at this, and I want to bring in the BJP. Tuhin Sinha, look, we must thank the Prime Minister for taking the time out, for telling us the facts as they are. But will knowing these facts restore the honor of India's national song? No, they won't. I'm not saying impose this. unredacted version on everybody. No, it should be left to them. Those who want to chant it would love to chant the full version. Those who don't want to chant it can take a leave of exemption. This is a democracy, there is choice. But what are you doing? We are hearing sermons about the history and the geography, but we are not getting a solution. You're the government, go out there and say, from tomorrow in Parliament, we will sing this song. Those who are Muslims or others who have a problem with it don't need to sing it. But others who don't, we will sing it in full. How can a national song be not sung in full? I cannot understand this. Can you explain?
Well, good evening, Rahul. Good evening, everybody. The entire purpose of curbing the song in its entirety was to curb the fervor of our freedom movement, because Bengal in those days would include Bangladesh, it would include a part of Assam, it would include present-day Bihar and Jharkhand. So imagine 1/3 of the population. The whole idea behind Jinnah imposing this diktat or trying to curb the national song in its entirety was to impede the seamlessness of the freedom movement.
No, that's okay, sir. I know the history. We've listened to it for 1 hour from the Prime Minister. Can you tell me what are you doing about it?
Why it needs to be highlighted, that's what I'm telling you.
No, we know. All of that is now history. Come to the present.
Mindset.
No, otherwise Priyanka Gandhi Vadra is right, because you can keep scratching at a wound to get some sympathy, this, that, the other, but what about actually treating the wound? The treatment is, let this song be restored to its full glory. Let people who want to sing it.
What you witnessed today is the precursor to that.
11 years later. Okay. So tell me, when is going to be the denouement? When is the denouement? When is the end?
Anand has joined the Tariq Kab Bataoge club, but you are...
Oh no, I'm sorry. You can't take a dig at Anand on this, because he's got a point. He wants to sing this song full-throatedly, but he can't because the law doesn't allow him.
Towards that, we are heading towards that. You need to understand...
Okay, we are heading towards that. So we don't have a commitment. That's okay. That's fine. You don't have the answers. Perhaps it's not for you to give the answer. Maybe it's an unfair question. But viewers, I'll tell you, that is the only way forward. Rest is all politics, let me tell you. And we are going back in time to do politics over an issue that everyone knows the problem. You were elected to give the solution, sir. I'll leave it at this, viewers, because there is something that I have to, and Dr. Ranganathan, stay on with me. Because this story touches viewers in a way that perhaps few others do. You see on your right, you're seeing a fire taking place right there above this lady who's dancing. This is a nightclub, it's called the Birch Club, and you can see that arrow, that's the spark. Someone is lit in this dramatic affectation of being really cool. They have lit these fireworks, there's a fire display, the lights are going off because they've done it under a combustible roof without regulations. They've endangered people, and look what happens, viewers. Up on top, the fire begins to glow, and you can see it's getting brighter and brighter and brighter, and this suddenly turns into an inferno. There you can see, we've circled it. That's when it's catching fire. That's the material, and it spreads so quickly, viewers, that hundreds of people are trapped. 29 die of asphyxiation because of this absolute act of negligence and apathy for public safety. You bent the rules, you didn't have permission to do all of this in an indoor facility. Someone must have been completely brain dead. But viewers, when the time comes in this country to seek answers, the two principal accused, the Luthra brothers, Gaurav and Saurav, who are the owners of this nightclub, have fled this country. We are being told to Phuket in Thailand. In fact, right after this fire, they head straight to the airport, they take a flight, and they're gone. The Goa police says soon after the FIR was registered, the police sent a team to Delhi to conduct a raid at the addresses of the accused, Gaurav and Saurav Luthra. Since they were unavailable, a notice was pasted at their door. By the evening of 7th December, a lookout circular was issued against them. Further, the Bureau of Immigration in Mumbai was contacted. It was found that both accused had taken flight to Phuket at 5:30 a.m. on 7th December. So the lookout comes after. Immediately after the incident, which had taken place around midnight. So viewers, if an incident like this happens, the first thing you know is to issue a quick lookout notice. But you wake up so much later that these people have taken off at a time, viewers, when you and I weren't getting flights. These individuals managed to apparently take, from what we are being told, an IndiGo flight. 500 of them were cancelled today itself, viewers, but these two gentlemen got a flight and off they went, and they've gone. Dr. Ranganathan, what does this tell you?
Quite simply that India is a banana republic, and it has been a banana republic ever since it became a republic. Now, there are very quickly two things out here. If you are not by your meaningful, heartful dispensation a nihilist or a fatalist in this country, God help you. This kind of brazenness is not just that the illegality and the brazenness with which those crackers were lit. It turns out that the entire discotheque, or wherever this thing was, this building, was built on illegality. In fact, the panchayat had wanted it demolished, but for some odd reason, it continued. It prospered, and it brought in a lot of moolah, and a lot of people were made rich directly because of the illegality. And now the fact is that those two people have fled, and I am old enough to remember, so are you, Rahul, the Ubhar tragedy that happened in 1997. And you know how the case is dragged on and on and on for 20, 25 years. And in the end, precious little happened. And the families of the victims, they got absolutely nothing in return. And I'm afraid this is the same thing that's going to happen. It's not just the fire. If you know, there is a woman called Anuradha who has been painfully cataloguing the deaths that have happened because of potholes.
I know.
Every sector you look at, Rahul, there is dereliction of duty and no head ever rolls.
Viewers, it is shocking. The law and order in Goa comes under the state government, as it does anywhere in any state. And it's a BJP government. BJP at the center, BJP at the state level. There's no coordination. Someone takes a flight, Bureau of Civil Aviation, and no one knows. A lookout notice, which should have easily been done, seamlessly announced, because it's your own state, your own government at the center, the Home Ministry, etc. It would have been easy to do. But no, viewers, no one knows. And now we can keep sending red corner notices, this notice, that notice, blah, blah, blue. Nothing is going to change. These guys have gotten out. They'll probably be out for a good long time. Till then, all the evidence will be tampered, this, that, the other. God forbid, viewers, seriously. This case will just drag on. There'll be no justice. Remember, 25 people dead in their club. They are sitting in Phuket. I'll leave it at that. And viewers, before we hand you over to the Vantage, the Global Humane Society, the international brand of American Humane Society, the oldest national humane organization in the United States and the largest certifier of animal welfare, presented Mr. Anant Ambani, founder of the Wildlife Conservation Center, Vantara, with the Global Humanitarian Award for Animal Welfare. Mr. Ambani is the youngest ever and the first Asian to receive this prestigious recognition. The award was conferred on him at an international event that brought together leaders committed to wildlife protection and animal welfare. Global Humane Society selected Mr. Ambani for his visionary leadership in establishing Vantara, a conservation center that has redefined what is possible in large-scale rescue, rehabilitation and species preservation.
This is New.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
The all-new Hyundai Venue, take up, go beyond.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
The all-new Hyundai Venue. Take up, go beyond. Stay ahead with News 18. News from your city in your language. Real-time updates, in-depth analysis, and breaking news. Anytime, anywhere. Only on the News 18 app. Scan and download the News 18 app now.
Look around you. Look around you. No one else is doing this story at this hour. At prime time, a story that concerns hundreds and thousands of Indians is being smothered. I don't know why, viewers. Is it because there's pressure? Is it because, viewers, questions have to be asked, which some people are reluctant to ask? Questions have to be asked because, viewers, the entire system is to blame. And accountability has to go all the way to the top. India's aviation watchdog, viewers, managed by the Aviation Ministry, can no longer hide behind technicalities, jargon, or selective outrage because, as thousands of Indians remain abandoned, a paper trail has emerged that points not just to IndiGo's failure but also to an accomplice. And I'm saying this with full responsibility, viewers. And that accomplice, viewers, ostensibly is the DGCA, the very regulator, the very watchdog meant to protect you. It turns out that a parliamentary committee had warned in August that the system was cracking, that it was falling apart, that fleet expansion far out. Look around you. Look around you. No one else is doing this story at this hour. At prime time, a story that concerns hundreds and thousands of Indians is being smothered. I don't know why, viewers. Is it because there's pressure? Is it because, viewers, questions have to be asked, which some people are reluctant to ask? Questions have to be asked because, viewers, the entire system is to blame. And accountability has to go all the way to the top. India's aviation watchdog, viewers, managed by the Aviation Ministry, can no longer hide behind technicalities, jargon, or selective outrage because, as thousands of Indians remain abandoned, a paper trail has emerged that points not just to IndiGo's failure but also to an accomplice. And I'm saying this with full responsibility, viewers. And that accomplice, viewers, ostensibly is the DGCA, the very regulator, the very watchdog meant to protect you. It turns out that a parliamentary committee had warned in August that the system was cracking, that it was falling apart, that fleet expansion far outstripping pilot growth, fatigue risks were spiraling. Even the ATC manpower was stretched to the limit, and the DGCA itself operating at nearly 50% vacancy, even though, viewers, the DGCA allows IndiGo and others to sign on more flights to cater to, as you know, viewers, high season tourist traffic. The panel warned of a catastrophic failure, not my words, the panel's own words, and I'm talking about a parliamentary panel. But the DGCA, controlled by the Civil Aviation Ministry, did squat, did nothing, viewers, absolutely nothing. Nothing. Here is a snapshot, viewers. I have that particular report in my hands. I always come with the hard facts. I always come, viewers, with documents. Viewers, these are the facts that the DGCA cannot bury anymore. There was a parliamentary panel's warning in August 2025, and it said that fleet growth exceeds pilot growth. The panel warned that rapid aircraft induction without matching crew strength was unsafe. It's all written here.
Hello, Namaskar. This is First Post. You're watching Vantage with me, Palki Sharma. We begin with the crisis at IndiGo. It's far from over. 500 flights were cancelled today. The matter reached India's parliament. We look at how long it will take to resolve and what's being done to avoid a repeat. Plus a special report on why India desperately needs more airlines and why so many failed in the last 2 decades. You're also tracking the conflict in Asia. It's Japan versus China, with fighter jets facing off and pushing the region to the brink. In Southeast Asia, it's Thailand versus Cambodia. The border has erupted again with fresh airstrikes and casualties. In the US, they've come up with a new strategy document. Russia has welcomed it. India has backed it. Pakistan barely finds a mention in it. We'll bring you the highlights. In Africa, Benin has thwarted a coup attempt. In the US, J.D. Vance, the vice president, is paying for his politics. He targeted immigrants. Now people are targeting his wife, who has Indian roots. In Goa, 25 people dead in a nightclub fire. We look at what happened there and who is responsible. Also in focus, will Donald Trump kill the Netflix Warner Brothers deal that is rocking Hollywood? And why 2025 is not the year for the Louvre, the museum. We'll explain why. The headlines first. Japan issues a tsunami warning after a 7.6 magnitude earthquake struck off its coastline. Authorities fear that the tsunami height could reach almost 10 feet. In some coastal areas, the quake was felt in central Tokyo as well. There are no immediate reports of casualties or damage. It was a bad day for the Indian stock market, with the benchmark indices ending with steep losses. The Sensex shed more than 600 points. The Nifty closed below the 26,000 mark.